Good morning, boys. Welcome to my online class. I am Shubroto, your chemistry lecturer. Today, again, we discuss about chapter 10 Mineral Resources, Metal and Non-Metal. In last class, we discussed some topic about this chapter, and today is the continuation of that chapter. Now, we discuss the chemical method for making some new minerals and products which are mixed with some impurities. In chemical method, here we discuss about aluminum ore. Okay, aluminum oxide from bauxite. The aluminum oxide resource from bauxite. The formula of bauxite is aluminum oxide and 2 molecules of water, which is react with sodium hydroxide at 1500 to 200 degrees Celsius, and it will produce sodium aluminate and water. This sodium aluminate react with water and produce aluminum hydroxide and sodium hydroxide. This aluminum hydroxide at 1100 degrees Celsius will produce aluminum oxide. So we have to make aluminum oxide from bauxite. For this reaction is carried out. The next topic is conversion of condensation ore to oxides. In this topic, condensed ore converts into metal oxide by calcination or roasting. Calcination of ore. We discuss the reaction of it. Please hear some lecture of calcination of ore. If condensed ore is heated at temperature below the melting point in absence of air, organic substance and moisture will be removed from the ore. This process is called calcination. The calcination enforced water, carbonate, bicarbonate, hydroxide, etc. like impurities to be removed in the form of carbon dioxide and vapor. If these impurities are not removed at this stage, it will be removed later. The reaction are given below. Ferric hydroxide with water at high temperature will produce ferric hydroxide and water. Water will remove from by vapor. Zinc carbonate will produce zinc oxide and carbon dioxide. Calcium carbonate will produce calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Roasting. Generally, roasting applied for sulfide ore. If sulfide ore are heated at temperature below the melting point in the presence of air, organic substance moisture will be removed from this ore as oxides. The reaction are given below. Lead sulfide plus oxygen will produce lead oxide and sulfur dioxide. Zinc sulfide plus oxygen will produce zinc oxide and sulfur dioxides. Now we discuss about the reactive series of metal and their extraction method. Highly reactive metals at the top ranking. They are extracted by electrolysis method because they cannot be reduced by any of the metal. These metals are potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminum. The medium standard reactive metals at the mid-level ranking. Reduction is done through carbon reduction method. Zinc, iron, lead. These methods are these metals are extracted by carbon reduction method because they are reduced by carbon and produce carbon dioxide. Less reactive metals at the bottom ranking reduction is done through self-reduction process. These are copper, mercury, silver. Non-reactive metals at the end of the ranking found in pure form in our nature. They are platinum, iron or gold. Now we discuss about the reaction of electrolysis. It's the process of getting a higher reactive metals like aluminum, and this process is carried out by electrolysis. In electrolysis process, a cell are designed by this. We have to write the figure name. Electrolysis of aluminum oxides. It's a simple graphical presentation of aluminum oxide extraction. Here it is the carbon cathode and it's also carbon electrode which is used as anode. It's a steel container, molten aluminum, mixture of molten aluminum oxide and cryolite. I will discuss the process by voice. Okay, it's the cell where electricity is given. In this process, solid aluminum oxides needs to be melted into liquid first. The aluminum oxide will melt at temperature 2050 degrees Celsius. To raise this temperature is so high and very tough. If aluminum oxide is added with cryolite, the formula of cryolite is Na3AlF6. It melts at temperature 800 to 1000 degrees Celsius, and the melted aluminum oxide consists of aluminum ion and oxides ion. That means the mixture of molten aluminum and cryolite give lowering the melting temperature of aluminum oxide, and it will produce ion of aluminum and ion of oxides. Then the steel container with graphite carbon layer is necessary in this method. The mixture of aluminum oxide and cryolite is taken in the container and some carbon rods are dipped in the mixture in the way so that do not touch the steel container anyway. Here is the presentation of this figure. The steel container is connected with a negative charge of the cell and battery. Then current flow from positive to negative part, and the reaction is occurred. In anode reaction, oxide will given the electron and will produce oxygen, and cathode aluminum will receive electrons, 6 electrons, and produce aluminum metal. Okay, and this molten aluminum is collected from this part. Here the molten aluminum are placed in the lower side of the steel container. Then we discuss about carbon reduction method. Metal is extracted by heating carbon along with metallic oxide. For example, zinc from zinc oxide, iron from iron oxide, lead from lead oxide, copper from copper oxide are extracted this way. Here, zinc oxide react with carbon and produce zinc and carbon monoxide. Ferrous oxide is ferrous oxide react with carbon and produce iron and carbon monoxide. Here, the reaction of carbon reduction method are given here. This method is called carbon reduction method. The mid-level position holder metals in the reactive series are extracted in this method. Now we discuss about the purification of metal. It is the last topic for today's class. Here, purification of metal are carried out by electrolysis. And purification by adding smelting agent, acidic smelting agent or silicon dioxide. The impurities still remain in the metal extracted after reduction. The substance that are added to purify it from the impurities called smelting agents. That means the product which are used to purify the metal is called smelting agent. If there are acidic alkaline smelting agents are added, and if they are alkali, then acidic smelting agent are used. Okay. Then we discuss about the purification by electrolysis. Purification of copper by electrolysis process are given here. It's the impure copper, and here we use the pure copper. Impure copper donates electron and produce copper ion, and pure copper ion will receive this 2 electron and placed here, and this copper ion or copper metal is increases in its size. By this, purification is occurred. Thank you for today's class. Please complete the lecture thoroughly through your books and memorize it very carefully and attentively. Thank you for today's class. Okay.